Well, a good afternoon to you, and I pray you're having a blessed day. This is Bible Billy O calling out to you before I have to go to work. Are you feeling the change in the air? I am. The fall weather always brings back so many memories. Takes my mind a wandering into the past and mostly into good memories. I was thinking of my childhood. Boy, I had a great childhood growing up, and I was thinking about the phrase "I am what I am." How many know that Popeye wasn't the first one to say that? Actually, that's in the Bible. In Exodus 3:14 through 15, God says, I am who I am. And he wanted the children of God to let their children know that's how he's to be known. In fact, he said, tell them when you go somewhere that I am is the one who sent you. Actually, I think Popeye said, I am what I am, not who I am. My grandpa, I guess, used to love Popeye, and he would make him laugh harder than any other cartoon, I was told. Back in the day when they'd play cartoons in the movie house, he would go and see every Popeye that he could. And yeah, he was funny. He was and Olive Goyle and Brutus. I used to love Popeye too. But let me get back to this thought. Who is God, and why would he call himself I am? And there's so much that's been written about that. I and then the word am, two small words, but they carry with them a lot of deep understanding. They speak to an individual that's knowable. I is personal. He's a God who wants to be known. And am speaks to his continuing personality. He can be known. He's real. I am. He exists. He continues on into future. I am. I will be. And he is mighty, and he'll continue to be mighty, and he will be present and available, mighty to save. When I think about the person of Jesus, because we believe as Christians the Bible speaks in the unity within the Trinity, or the triunity of God. You don't want to confound the essence, they say. He is one God, but he manifests himself in three persons, if I can call it that, but they're not three different persons. It's not like 1 + 1 + 1. They are one. And so it's something you can't take that concept any more than a teacup can carry the ocean. It's an amazing truth, a high truth. And then I was thinking about the songs or the Psalms of Ascent. They were Psalms 120. I had to write it down, 120 to 134. That's 15 Psalms. And what they were was something that was sung about the character of God as the pilgrimage, I believe it was 3 times a year, would be made towards Jerusalem. And they would sing as they would approach the temple these psalms that would gradually ascend. That's what that means. It's a gradual singing of the person of God, and it speaks to him as your keeper. It speaks to him as the second psalm of ascent. I lift my head up to the hills, to whom my help comes from. My help is from the one who made the heavens and the earth. Tozer wrote a lot about the attributes of God, and I just wanted to park on 2 of them today. One of them is God's infinitude. Another is God's eminence. Eminence means he's ever present. Also use the term omnipresence. He is the great one. He's omnipotent. That means he is the almighty, but he is also the all ever present, but he's always existed. And I like this little devotion. He says it's like a grasshopper trying to take it all in. As you look at the stretches of the heavens at night, if you've ever looked out and felt so small, like a bug, and you see the immensity. And it says God, he spreads that heavens out like a tent. Isaiah 40 and verse 20, he spreads it out like a tent to dwell in. The poet once said, one God, one majesty, there is no God but thee, unbounded, unextended unity. Unextended means that God can't be spread out. As I mentioned, you can't divide the essence of the Trinity. He can't be extended into space. God contains that space. C.S. Lewis said, if you could think of a sheet of paper, this might help illustrate, infinitely extended in all directions, and if you took a pencil and made a 1-inch line on it, that would represent our time right now. The beginning of the time would be when you started to draw, and then the end would be when you lifted up your pencil, and all around, infinitely extended in all directions, this sheet of paper, white and pure and holy as God is, that would be a good illustration of how God extends. Now, Jesus, in speaking on God's eminence, Tozer says, always had a heavenly mindedness about him. Yes, he was present in time and caring for people, and his heart was burdened, and it says that deep within him, his core, he had great stirred compassion for the masses, because he hurt for them, and we ought to hurt for those that don't have a clue of who God is, nor do they desire to seek him. But I believe by his Spirit he's drawing people, and boy, the moment we start to make a step towards God, Hebrews says you draw near to God, he'll draw near to you, and he does it in a hurry. He meets you more than halfway. No man is seen at any time the only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father. He hath declared him. John 1:18. Think of the heavenly mindedness of Jesus. He never left the bosom, in a sense, of the Father while he was on earth. The only time he left was in that awful, retching agony that God turned away his face from the Son on the cross, that he might die for all mankind. But never at any other time. He lived in the heart of God, and the world above was the world in which he inhabited. That's going to be our home also. But he goes on to say, and this isn't to make fun or to put people down, but man was created in the image of God, and oh, how we occupy so many things, activities and thoughts that are beneath. They're not worthy of the image of God. And he says, as people talk more about the furniture we're going to buy, the TV, things we've seen, baseball, football, you name the sport, automobiles, the different houses that we're investing in, and politics, oh boy. But hardly anything about heaven or the kingdom of God. I got to preach on that yesterday. The kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven. I just want you to know there's a God who infinitely cares about you. You were always on his mind. If he had a refrigerator, he'd have your picture put on it. But I don't want to make light of the fact that he loves you and he has a wonderful plan for you. Seek him while he may be found. That's all I've got to say now as I get ready to run into work. Put together some beautiful diesel engines today. I call you blessed, and for now, this is Bible Billy O signing off.